It's Talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply straight talk.
Hey, hello.
Hey, yo, what's going on? What's happening?
Oh, nothing. I'm just enjoying this beautiful sunshine. So what's up?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay, I'm listening.
Do you think the size of a woman's wedding ring or a big wedding can determine if a relationship is going to work?
I don't think there's a simple answer for that question. I mean, I would think everyone wants to know her man has put some thought into the ring he's given her, and as for the wedding, I think she just wants the day to be special, but I don't think neither actually determines if a relationship will be successful.
So, let's say I gave you a ring that was 1 carat, princess cut, and a platinum band. Would you be happy about the ring?
Okay, after everything I just said, your only thoughts are about a hypothetical ring?
No, I'm just speaking and trying to get the point across for men. It just feels like unless the ring has a diamond like the size of a quarter and the wedding costs like $100,000, it's like men aren't taken seriously.
Okay, cool. Let me try to explain something. Some women will expect that, yes, but there are others that don't. And since you're speaking for men, don't you think a good man wants the best for the woman he loves? I mean, seriously, would it be fair to say that a real man would want his actions to reflect how he feels, yeah? So since we like to keep it real with each other, you know some men want to be treated like a king, but refuse to treat their women like a queen.
All right. You make your point pretty good and clear, so I'm unable to dispute your comments right now at this time. But one of these days, Angelique, I'm going to get the last word, and you can best believe that.
You see, you learn fast. Never challenge a queen, specifically this queen.
Welcome to the Simply Straight Talk Show with your host, Reggie, keeping it real with discussions on this thing we call life.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Reggie Maddox, and man, I'm looking forward to today's topic. I look forward to all of our topics, but sometimes you hit that topic, man, that just sort of hit home, because I have had this discussion with a lot of my friends, man, male and female, and there's always different views on this subject, and you always got the male perspective and the female perspective. And sometimes the different views actually swap. You know, what you think a man is going to say, you know, it's kind of like, well, I didn't expect that from a dude, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes when you ask a female the same question, she give you the answer that you think that the male is going to say. But let me tell you what I'm talking about so it'll make a little more sense. So today we're going to be talking about, does size matter? Now, before your mind goes into the gutter, no, we're not talking about intercourse. We're going to be talking about weddings, engagement rings, because we really want to kind of get into this, because first I thought like, is this a good topic? But then the more I started to look into it, it was just some very interesting facts that came out of this that I myself just really didn't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know, because when it comes to ceremonies and traditions or way things are done, I just really found out that sometimes we adopt things and say, well, this is the traditional way it's always been done. And we don't understand how that tradition actually started. And we really don't understand who started that tradition, the reason that tradition was started, and why it became something that's sort of worldwide or nationwide. And, you know, you're sort of honoring something that I really come to find out probably shouldn't be honored the way it is. Now, I'm not talking about the covenant of marriage. Okay, so let's get that clear. I'm not talking about that. But what we want to talk about today, man, is something that, like I said at the beginning, that men and women seem to be divided over. You know, whether your engagement ring or wedding ceremony size really matters. Does it make a difference if you get an engagement ring with a big diamond Or should you even give an engagement ring? Does an engagement ring really matter? And also, for some, weddings are a big deal. If you can't have a big elaborate wedding, it sort of means that some people look at it like, if the wedding is not up to a certain standard, then that's saying something about the man. It's saying something about the relationship. Now, everybody don't feel that way, but a lot of people do feel that way. But first, I kind of want to go over some things. So let me kind of introduce the whole engagement and wedding thing, kind of give you an idea, then we'll kind of pick up. So real quick, if anything is certain, it's that diamonds remain a serious investment. And according to the Knot 2019 Jewelry and Engagement Study, the average cost of an engagement ring is $5,900. Now, if you're deciding how much to spend on an engagement ring, there's always certain factors you need to consider in doing that, but that's a whole nother show. Now, while $5,900 is the national average cost of a ring, it's sort of, and that can vary by couples too, but there are some rings that are far more expensive, like the First Light Diamond Solitaire ring. Now, it's 3 3/4 carats, 14 karat white gold, which goes for a, $79,999.99. I'm sure everybody out there listening got that little pocket chain laying around. You can go and slap that, just go and say 80 grand. Okay, well, $80,000 for that ring. Now, I'm sure there's rings that cost more than that. But that's an actual ring. The First Light Diamond Solitaire ring, 3 3/4 carats, 14 karat white gold. And the actual price of that ring is $79,999.99. Now, while the biggest jewelry cost is typically the engagement rings, wedding bands now, they're a little more budgetary. You know what I'm saying? Because the study also found that the average cost of a female wedding band in 2019 is $1,100, while the average cost of a man's wedding band is $510. Now, white gold is the most popular wedding band material for women right now, while tungsten was the favorite for men. Now, that was according to the Knox report. So that's a little bit of background on the cost of engagement rings, the highest price of engagement ring, the cost of the man's wedding band, and the cost of the woman's wedding band. So that's just like the average, okay? Now, when it comes to the average cost to get married in the United States, according to the Wedding Wire 2019 Newlywed Report, $38,700 is what it costs. That's what most people spent, $38,700. And they looked at data from more than 18,000 U.S.-based newlyweds who got married in 2018. So that's how they came up with that number. So the average cost for a U.S. wedding, $38,700. So as I started to look into this, man, I'm like, well, let me go back a little bit because I know everybody know that most of the diamonds come from Africa. We realize that. We recognize that. We know that. We all know the story of the blood diamonds. So why are people spending so much money on diamonds? And I thought in weddings. Then I found out the true story of how the whole diamond thing came about. You would think like this is something that's been done from throughout time. That's how it was done. You give a woman a ring, you get married. Well, actually, that's not true. In 1938, there's a company called De Beers. They was a diamond company. And they spent a massive, and I mean a massive amount of money on marketing campaigns that really pushed the fact that real men show their love with a diamond. So weddings that were once simpler and informal where, men would be kind of like, hey, go meet the parents. I'd like to marry your daughter. They had a discussion and there was, and that was it. If the woman said yes, parents agreed, they got married. But after 1938, when De Beers Diamond Company, who pretty much bought up all of the majority of the diamond mines in Africa, who really have control over the diamonds and how they are released, they actually started the campaign that pushed the fact that men now needed to buy diamonds for a woman to get married. So they created that. It was not a thing. And that started in 1938. Now, when it comes to the wedding dress, I was wondering about that because when it comes to men, there's really no standard for men. Like, look, go get you a black tuxedo and just stand up there at the altar and be there and be present. That's it. And pay the bill. Now, here's the thing. White wedding dresses was not set up that if a woman wore white, it means it was a first time marriage. No, that's not where white wedding dresses came into play and how they came into weddings. White wedding dresses became popular at the Victorian era elites. Well, after Queen Victoria wore a white lace dress to her wedding, everybody else start wearing a white lace dress. They start wearing the white dresses. That's where the white dresses come in. It has nothing to do with your first time being married. It has nothing to do with you being a virgin and pure and all that. It's a simple fact that this woman who was a queen wore a white dress, so everybody else started to copy her. And they just added it to the wedding tradition and everybody bought onto it. The other thing was white dresses became so expensive that only the upper class people were wearing, the rich people were wearing the white dresses. Everybody else was just wearing casual, colored clothes. So it didn't matter. It didn't have to be white if you went to a wedding. But once Queen Victoria did it, then the rich people started doing it. Then it sort of became the standard that, it's a white wedding dress for a wedding. And that's not even true. That's what I'm saying. When I told you at the beginning of the show, that a lot of marriages are falling into these traditions, which are creating debt and financial problems, creating tension and extra stress in the wedding over traditions that have nothing to do with what they think. Diamonds was a profit marketing tool in order to get women to start wanting diamonds so men would buy it. The white wedding dress was something that was worn by a queen. So it became a fad and they used it to market it to women. To have a good wedding, you need to wear a white dress. That's a sign of this. And it was a marketing ploy for money. All of that was a profit for money. So now it's clear we're going to have two different viewpoints on this, even after the facts I just mentioned. But the thing about it is, some people don't believe in rings, while others are totally committed to the fact that, yes, if you get married, you need to give a woman a ring. But what happens if she doesn't like the ring? And this is why we go back to the question of, does size really matter? Because if a guy gives a woman a ring that's only like 0.5 carats, which I know some women are frowning up right now at that number, or let's just go 1 carat. Let's be generous. They go 1 carat. But she wants a ring that's three carats. Does that mean that man doesn't love her? Because now you're basing his love on a ring, on a material thing. Now, everybody don't have that $80,000 to drop. Some guys don't have that $10,000 or $20,000 to drop on a ring. So some guys may have to drop down to that $2,000 price point. Some guys don't have that $5,900, $6,000 to drop. But does it really matter about the ring? Because honestly, the ring is only a symbol of the covenant between the two people. And the ring is more so a bragging point. Because if a woman says she got married, her friends, first thing other women are like, let me see the ring. Let me see the ring. The ring is something that the woman has to show off. It's almost like to validate her, So does it really matter that other people may have this perception because your ring is not of this high standard, expensive ring, 4 or 5 carats versus somebody who really cares about you, but gives you a ring that they can afford, but they're investing in you more so than the ring? Does that make a difference? So your ring isn't what matters, it's what it symbolizes. Now, some people have, sided with the belief that in reality, the ring is a mere symbol or token that it represents the gravity of love and commitment behind it. Now, these members believe that they say yes to a burger ring if that's what they're given. They'll take it. They are all about what the ring symbolizes. It's about the commitment and the next step in their relationship, and not about the jewelry itself. The ring is a covenant between the husband, the wife, and God. But some people don't see it like that. Some people see the ring as the ring sets the tone. It sets the standard. The ring is a marker for how you feel about me. And if you come in here with a cheap ring, that means you're not really expressing your love for me. But is it really true that that person is not expressing their love for you? Or are you just worried about other people going to think? I mean, is other people going to influence you that much that you're going to lose out on somebody good in your life because a ring is not as big as the ring they have? Just because somebody gives you a big ring does not mean they're going to be faithful, they're going to be committed, they're going to invest in you, that they care about you. Sometimes a person will give you a ring and it doesn't mean a thing. Size of the ring does not matter. So then you go to the wedding. You know, a wedding, here's my thing about weddings. Weddings are primarily for the woman. They really are. Weddings are for the women. And I'm not saying that they should not be about the woman. In my opinion, the wedding should be about both people. It should be about both people. The wedding and the ring should be something sentimental to both people. And a lot of men, let me put it like this. A lot of men look at weddings and it's like, you go get your tuxedo, you sit in this back room, you know, before the wedding even really starts, the man is pretty much either up there or it's like, look, nobody wants to see the husband walk up. It's like, look, you just walk up, stand up there next to the preacher and just wait. The woman is the one that has this big, elegant entrance. Now tell the truth. Tell the truth. It is the woman that has the entrance. It is her entrance that is grand. The man entrance is just go up there and stand. There is nothing spectacular or interesting about a man's entrance in a wedding. Unless a couple recognizes that, like, listen, I want my husband to have something nice before him. You know, because normally when the husband comes up, he goes up, he stands up there. Then you have everybody else. You got the bridesmaids coming. You got the flower girls. You got rose petals thrown on the floor. You know, it's a lot of stuff done to introduce the woman up to the altar to the man. And it often feels unbalanced, you know. So it's a difficult thing when you're looking at that. And it's not always a comfortable feeling when you're a man, because it's almost like you don't matter. I'm not saying that's for every wedding, but that's for a lot of weddings. So that's a little bit of advice for y'all out there. If you're about to get married, you want the man to be invested. Make him feel like he's a part of the ceremony. Make him feel like the wedding is tying the relationship together between two and not just one. In other words, don't make the man the opening act, okay? You know what I'm saying? Don't treat him like he's a no-name act opening up the show and the woman is the headliner, the crowd pleaser. Make them both the headliner, because their lives are becoming one, not two. Hey, we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back with more of the Simply Straight Talk Show.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
Hello, Simply Straight Talk family. If you are enjoying this episode, at the end of the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. And why not share this with a friend? Also, visit our blog at newlifenewmind.com, where you can find additional articles on more great topics. Stay tuned. The show will continue right after this message.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the second part of the show. And man, today we're talking about, does size matter? But we're talking about wedding ring, engagement rings. Now, we didn't get into the honeymoon too much at the beginning of the show, but honestly, in my opinion, just a quick side note here, I would rather spend more money on the honeymoon than the wedding and the engagement ring. That's just my thought. But let's dig into this, because I don't want the women out there to feel like I'm disregarding their part in this, that I'm like saying that they're trying to do this and make men look less than. I'm not really saying that, because I understand what a ring symbolizes. Now, from my standpoint, it symbolizes a covenant between you and your husband under God. To me, that's what it symbolizes. Now, we got to understand this. And, and just because a woman or, a bride may say, your woman just because you'll put it like this, just because your woman may be underwhelmed by the ring that you give her, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's in any way disappointed or underwhelmed by the relationship with you. It just probably that she had her expectations on a certain type of ring. Now, I don't know why you may not have gotten her the type of ring she liked. Maybe it was out of your budget. Maybe it was just, the price tag was just too thick. You might be having financial troubles right now, so you just couldn't afford the ring right now. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying, that it's just, you're just not that type of person. Maybe you value the relationship and didn't think that the ring mattered that much. But you do have to consider the woman's feelings when it comes to the ring. Now, every woman is not going to sit there and say, I want this big gaudy ring. I want this show-off type ring. You got some women that are like, look, you treat me good. You're a good man. I know you're a good man. I'll take whatever you give me. Stay who you are. Some women are like that. So you got women out there that's like that. Like, they're not all invested into the materialistic value of the ring. They want the relationship. So let's not disregard those women out there who really value the relationship or the materialistic value of the ring. But men, we do have to make sure that we are showing the woman that, yes, I appreciate you. And sometimes you may have to have that honest conversation like, listen, I can't afford to get you 2 carats right now, but I can get you half a carat. But but what I'm going to do is add to it. At least have a plan to build on her ring and help her get a ring she wants, if that's what she wants. You know what I'm saying? But the ring is a symbol or token, and it's supposed to represent the love and the gravity of the love and commitment behind it. So, but everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. But back to the question, you know what I'm saying? That was a little side. I went on a little rant right there. Does a ring or wedding make a difference? Does it really determine if a marriage is going to be successful? Does a wedding ceremony, a big wedding ceremony, determine if a marriage is going to be successful? And I really don't think it does. And it's sort of sad that a lot of people go into debt in the early part of their relationship, man. I mean, when you think about the cost of some of these weddings, like, let's put it like this. It was $38,700 for the average wedding in the United States. Okay. Then we looked at the $5,900 price tag for the ring. Then you got the wife's band, which run you about $1,000. The man's band run you about $500. You're already looking at close to $40,000 in debt for one day. And unless you got, wealthy parents or somebody that's going to pay it off, you're already going into debt into the relationship. So for me, it's like, I would rather have a woman that says, listen, I appreciate the nice ring, the wedding ceremony, a big thing that's all fine and good, but I'd rather invest in a home. I'd rather invest in a honeymoon, something that's about us. I'd rather invest in our future for longevity than something that's just for one day. Because you can have a nice wedding and not have to go all out and spend $38,000. I mean, I'd rather, if you have a simple wedding where a preacher, a few people, a small dinner, the key thing a lot of people remember from the wedding is, you got your wedding cake, yes, but the photographs. I'd rather us have nice photos of each other, nice photos taken in some place that we can go back and look at those photos and reminisce on that. But people are spending money really to entertain other people. Other people are benefiting with free meal. But think about it. When you pay for this wedding, okay, other people are coming to sit down and watch you walk up the aisle, watch you get married. Then they're sitting there watching you see how much you're going to pay for this dress, how much you're going to pay for those rings. Then you're going to have a reception. Most people do. So now you got the catering that you got to pay for. So now they're sitting there getting free meal. Some people want alcohol served at their wedding. That's a huge additional cost. So they're sitting there just eating, just enjoying a whole free day of free stuff, all at your expense, because you want to have this big oversized wedding. Think about the importance of the relationship. How much of that money can you actually take and build for where you want to go in the future, where you want your relationship to be? And I know that, even for men, women, I know I kind of was hard on y'all at the last part of the first segment of the show about the whole wedding ring thing and how women want other women to see the ring and be like, ooh, look at your ring. Yeah, he loves you. Men sort of have that too, because when a man we don't really go out and ask about that. It's kind of like, you got a wedding band? Oh, you got married? Cool. All right, whatever. Crack out little jokes, whatever. But we don't sit there and gawk over wedding bands and wedding rings. Now, if we see our partners got married and the ring looks suspect, we might crack some jokes on him about the ring. We won't say nothing to y'all, but we'll joke with each other about it. Like, man, you could have got her a little bigger ring than that. We'll crack jokes like that, but we don't really get into the whole ring thing as far as the ring has to look like this and be like this. But we do understand, guys, we got to understand that women do have more pressure on them when it comes to the wedding ring, especially on their job, with their friends, with their family, because everybody is going to judge the man based on the ring that he gives her. Now, you can have a good woman who's like, listen, I don't need no big ring. Like I said earlier, she's like, I want this relationship with you. I want you to invest in us. Okay, don't worry about a ring. Get me a ring, nothing fancy. We're good. But some people would judge the man based on that. It's like, God, he got you that little bit of ring. You can barely see the diamond. He should have went bigger. He should have got white gold. Why did he get yellow gold? It's all this stuff that people do and say about other people's relationships that's really irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? And really does not have a place in the relationship. And when people start to, throw their inputs and thoughts into somebody else's relationship based on a wedding ring, based on a wedding ceremony, how many bridesmaids did you have? You only had 4 bridesmaids. You should have had 6, all this type of stuff, the wedding gowns. If you ever watch those TV shows like, what is it? Not Bridezilla. It's one TV show about where they picking out wedding dresses. When you watch the families, like you see the woman, she gets the dress, she loves the dress, and she's got her little female friends there, man, and they all going, oh, that dress is ugly, that dress is this, that don't fit you, that don't that. And the woman, they end up back there crying because they like the dress and they worry about what everybody else is going to think. Your relationship is your relationship. How you go about it with the wedding dress, with the wedding, with the rings, that should be between you and your husband. You and your fiance. It shouldn't be between the world. The world should not dictate how much debt you go in to impress other people. And that's what a lot of people are doing because they are living in false prosperity with the fact that they're thinking that a big ring and a big wedding makes a difference. Then you look at all the celebrities. They got all the money in the world. They got all these, and they buy these big diamonds and they get divorced. They have these big elaborate weddings, get divorced. Look at over there in England when you got the princess and the queen getting, the prince getting married. Big fancy weddings and they getting divorced. The wedding does not take precedence over the commitment and covenant between the two people. You got to remember that. Don't let other people influence you into debt over a wedding ring and over a wedding ceremony. All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back. I hope y'all enjoying this, man, because I'm trying to hold back because I really want to let go. And I might do that with the final thought. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
This is Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie, bringing the conversation straight to you.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's show, man. We're in the final thoughts for the day. And today we were talking about does size matter in regards to weddings, engagement rings. Listen, I don't know if I can just say it enough, but honestly, really think about what's important to you when you get a proposal. Man, really think about the woman that you're marrying. You know, what is it that she really wants? And figure out a way to where you can really show her and validate your love without it have to be based on a materialistic value. Now, I kind of went into another little rant at the end because I really feel like a lot of people are underestimating the influence which puts them in debt in the, wedding process of their relationship. And I don't think people really take that into consideration, like how much stress, how much, frustration that you're putting on your relationship, how much tension you're bringing into your relationship. And, once the wedding is done, once the, ring process is done, the whole thing are having to deal with all of that because now you got to pay all of this stuff out. And remember, you're combining two households. You're combining two people's lives together. And sometimes, sometimes some people bring in a little bit of debt. Some people bring in a lot of debt, but if you know that both of you might have some financial issues, regardless of what level, do you really want to spend $40,000 plus on a wedding and engagement rings when you can use that money to kind of help resolve your financial issues to put you on more firmer ground going forward? Because remember, you can always have a bigger wedding later. You can always buy a bigger engagement ring and wedding ring later. I mean, think about it. Many people are getting divorced within 3 years of their first marriage. Okay. 3 years of marriage, they're getting divorced. Now, y'all know, it ain't no secret. I've been married a couple of times. I'm telling you from experience, sometimes we're so focused on making other people impressed by what we're doing that we are not setting a solid foundation for ourselves. We're not setting ourselves up for success because we want to impress for now. So if you're getting married, man, ladies, gentlemen, don't be ashamed to do what you got to do to get a firm ground underneath you. If you can take that 40 grand and eliminate the debt between both of you and start building a firmer foundation for a relationship going forward to, ease the financial problems that could occur or prepare for any financial problems that occur, then I say more power to you. But don't get caught up on trying to impress everybody else. Don't get caught up in letting other people force you into debt. And that goes for you too, for the bride, the bridegroom, the fiancés. If you're going to propose, and fellas, if you know your limit and she can't accept it, then you know what? You might want to back off, man. And the same thing, ladies, if you realize that, listen, we're not in a position right now to do all of this, we can do it later, do it. With everybody getting divorced so quick, why not take time to build up and say, you know what? In 5 years, we'll get a bigger ring. 10 years, we'll have a grand wedding, and just keep repeating that process to where you're building on something within a relationship every time you reach a milestone. Don't jump out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Putting yourselves in debt, creating financial stress, adding more burdens that you got to try to figure out as you try to combine two lives. So set milestones as you get up and create more time together. And don't try to do it all in one whammy and tear yourselves down before you even get started. Hey, this is Reggie Maddox, man. Thank you for joining me here on the Simply Straight Talk Show. And remember, new shows drop every Friday. So make sure you check us out, man. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and most of all, don't forget to share. And I got to thank, man, Angelique for the great intros. Appreciate that. Always fun working with her. So you know what? We love you. Don't forget to support our HBCUs, man, and we will see you next Friday right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. Connect with us at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to sign up to our newsletter and check out the New Life, New Mind blog at newlifenewmind.com. See you at the next episode.